Hello everyone, I hope everyone has been well throughout this lockdown so far. I know it's been quite difficult for a lot of people, but I hope everyone's been okay so far. So I'm just doing my Q&A video, which if people saw on Instagram, I'd asked you to kind of give me some different questions for me to answer for you guys, and I've kind of, delivered it in a video now for you. So I've got some answers for you guys on a sheet here. I've tried to make sure I've answered everybody's questions. I'm sure I have, and I got quite a few, so fingers crossed I can answer them to the best that you want me to. So yeah, so let's crack on with that one. Okay, so the first question was sent in by Angus, so thank you to all of you as well for asking me these questions, because it's really helpful, and it's just like another idea for me to kind of give you a better idea of who I am and kind of what I want to do, and just better understanding for you guys as well as me. So it's very helpful in everyone's case. So okay, so the first question from Angus, and it was what can we do at home to help? So there's a lot of things that these people can do to help. Obviously we don't have the news and everything, but we've got like a voice that we can all adhere with. And obviously with me, I've got my Instagram, I've got YouTube, which I'm trying to improve now, and different things like that. So we've all got a voice that we can all improve, and all, because obviously within like the last year or so, a lot of people have had been going onto the streets and things like that, and had like different riots, which in cases I do agree with, but there's different things that you've kind of got to you got to adhere with the rules and things like that. But they were helpful in senses, but they're not in every single ways. But so for us, obviously there are different things that we can do, but one thing that we can do is recycling. It's the main thing that anyone can do. I know there's a lot of controversy around this, but recycling is always a massive thing. If you can just even if it's just sorting things like the plastics and the glasses and like cardboard and things like that, you're doing your little bit, and that's always useful for something that is such a big thing. And if everyone starts doing things like that, then it kind of helps it a lot better for the world, and it's a lot better thing for you to be doing as well as everyone else to be doing. And so another thing is that engage with the news a lot more. So kind of watch the news, see what's going on at the moment, see what's going on at the time with what's going on with like climate change and things like that, because there's always things in the news about what people are saying and things like that, and it's kind of a thing you can watch and just get an idea of what's happening at that time. So it gives you a lot more information as well of what's happening, and it's a lot better for you to all to kind of know what is happening at that current time. So that's something that's always very useful. So another question, the second question that was sent in was by Owen, and it is, does it bore you when you go out for litter picks? So this is a question I've kind of been asked a few times, not with this, but just overall. But for me, I would say it doesn't bore me. Obviously, I don't want to be doing it, and I shouldn't have to be spending my time in going on litter picks and doing that, because people shouldn't be throwing litter down. And that's one of the things that can annoy me and everything. But I do enjoy it a lot, and it's something that I do, as I would call a hobby, and it's a lot better for me to be doing something like that and helping. And as I say, that's another way for me to be helping with the environment and things like that. And obviously, it's a lot better when people join me, obviously, because then I can talk to people, and it's a lot more better engaging with other people and things like that. But I don't mind going by myself, and past times I've gone out with friends and groups. I'm like 2 summers ago, it's like 2 years ago, and then I've been out with like family and people, and it's a lot better like that. So as being by yourself, it's a little bit more boring, but I don't mind it as much. Obviously, it's a lot more, you can get people nice to you as well. I've been on litter picks, and people are like, oh, that's so nice, that's such amazing for you to do, it's keep it up and everything. But then I also get people hating on me and being like, like I get people looking at me a lot and thinking, oh, what are you doing? And I'll get some kind of jokes towards me, and sometimes it puts me in a position where it's like I don't really want to do it again. But I know, but then I kind of look at myself and be like, no, I'm doing what I'm best doing. And if anything, is a lot of these people who do litter, and you think you're the problems, it's your fault a lot of the time for throwing down litter. So that's one of the so to answer the question, yes, I sometimes I do, but then mostly I don't. So basically I don't really find it boring or anything like that. Okay, so the third question was sent in by someone called Emily, and was, what made you start Only One Planet Earth? So it was a mixed decision. I remember I used to have a job of a litter post office, like delivering newspapers, and it was kind of around that time when I did start to see loads of litter being around in the streets, and it was there was something that kind of changed my decision and to try and do this. So that's when I created my Instagram account. It was something that's why I started it mostly. But a factor as well was because my dad used to go for litter picks, and I didn't really take much from it, but now, and I look back, it was kind of a factor into why I started the channel and things like that. But also, you know, it's something that I've seen people littering, and I think, you know, what's the point? And it kind of just got me engaged in it, and just overall from the news as well. So, you know, famous people like, you know, David Attenborough, and also like just like people like that who show what they're doing, and like documentaries, things like that kind of helped me to get, you know, better understanding of this. And that's something as well that, you know, gave me more information about it and kind of made me, you know, start this account today. So that's mainly the reason why. But yeah, so yeah, thank you for that. And then another question is sent in by Ella, and what made you decide to start the petition and litter picks? So this is something that you know, as I say, that was like the question before was like a broad idea, but for the litter picks, it was something like a smaller scale that I could do to help with everything. So kind of like, you know, litter picks, something that I can do to help recycling and things like that, like I can do on a local scale to help my local town and places like that. I can go to other places as well, but obviously that's something that I can do locally to help as well and things like that. So, you know, which makes it a lot better for me, and also, you know, makes me feel like I'm doing something to help. So, you know, that gives me a better perception of everything. And also with the petition, I started that because I wanted to kind of extend what I was doing and kind of broaden out what I was doing. So I started one in school, which reached around 1,000 signatures, and then the other one, which I did online, reached about 13,000, which was massive for me. And, you know, this is incredible to start something like that and actually, you know, broaden out what I was doing. And so that was like really helpful for what I was doing. So yeah, thank you for that question. The next one is Dylan, and has lockdown had some implications to the environment? So obviously these like issues, and obviously you would think that everyone being at home, there's not many cars on the road and things like that. And I used to believe that, and that was something, obviously with that is great. But when you look at the whole scale, in a sense, it's not, because people have been like at home using a lot of electricity and things like that, which is obviously creates a lot of CO2 emissions and things like that. And it's quite a, you know, it makes it, when you look at the whole situation, it's actually quite bad when you look at, because obviously everyone's being at home using electricity, using heating, and that's not very bad for the environment. But obviously a bonus is people are, you know, going out for walks, and they weren't really able to drive to places, so it was forcing people to go out, to go for walks, not use the car as much, which is massive, and that's a brilliant thing. And there, you know, there are positives like that which do massively help. So yeah, that's something that really, you know, has been a lot better for the environment and things like that. So when you look at it from that perspective, obviously there's other reasons why it's not, but then that's like a massive reason why, you know, it could be. So there's, you know, there's two sides that you can look at it. So another question is by Nicole, and what's the most effective thing that we can do to save our planet? So I think for us as a younger, for someone like me, who's like a young adult who, you know, doesn't have much of a voice, I think for me having a voice is massive, and that's one of the big things that people kind of do overlook. You know, having my channel kind of allows me to show people the work I'm doing, and also I hope that I can get people interested in the environment and things like that, because at the end of the day, in the future, you know, our lives may change massively, and if people don't do anything to stop this, then obviously it's going to get a lot worse, and that's a massive problem. So obviously there's that, but also if you're going to have a voice, take actions. Don't say, oh yeah, this, you know, the environment and everything like this, and say things and then don't take actions, because if you don't take actions, things won't really happen. So taking actions is massive, as long as having a voice, and it's kind of going hand in hand together. But also, so like, you know, with actions, you could have like, you know, go cycling or walking to places, you know, so not using the car as much, and that's something that is massive to help with it, to help with the environment and things like that. So, you know, it's a lot better to help with that. So I hope that kind of like answer the question. But, you know, things like that, when you look at the whole situation, you know, that's something I think personally is massive. You know, in this moment in time, we're very grateful to have a voice and be able to talk about things a lot. So that's that one. Next one is Harrison. And are there any like common misconceptions about pollution? So obviously pollution, there can be little things like that can people can see about it, and it's massive with it. So like things like the there's like little facts that you can find, and it's true when you do look at it. So like things like so one is air quality is a lot better than it used to be. So obviously before, you know, hundreds of years ago, there used to be like coal mines, burning of coal, but obviously at the moment coal isn't burnt as much, creating less CO2. So obviously at the moment there isn't as many coal emissions that there have been in the past. So that's massive better for now, but obviously it's still not good. And I know there's the acts, like the Environmental Act thing for governments and things like that, but obviously it's something that needs to be improved now and not taken when something may happen, and then we can't like reverse the changes, if that makes sense. So, you know, that's one of them. Another is like people think that there's nothing that they can do about it. There is. Everyone can do anything about it. If everyone came together, and governments and people and everyone in the world came together to make a change, things would happen. But because they don't, and money and things like that is a massive thing for why people don't come together, if that makes sense. And, you know, it's something that people kind of overlook, and they don't really, you know, do much about it. And it's massive for it. So that's something that, you know, if people did come together, there'd be a lot more for people to do. But, you know, just also like find out about your area. So if you find about your local area, you can do more about that area. And then if everyone does that, then they can do more about their area. And then everyone starts doing a change around the world. So that's massive as well. So, okay, so last question is by Angus again. And it's, so what are my predictions for the future? So obviously for the future, you know, when you look around, it could be very bleak, and, you know, it doesn't look great for the environment. And to be totally honest with you, in my predictions, I just think it's going to get worse. Like, at the situation we're in now, governments, they try and do things, but nothing gets done. That's the massive thing. People, you know, talk about it and they say, oh yeah, we're going to do this, this and this, but they don't do it. And that's a massive thing. You know, they've got all these statistics about the world will get worse. You know, the environmental changes will be like, they won't be reversible by 2030, things like that. And it's great that people find that out, but they got to start doing things. And that's a massive thing. Why people don't do anything. Because obviously, if governments don't do anything, then people don't do anything. And that's why, you know, people are starting to wake up and starting to do more. But if we don't do anything soon, it's just going to get worse and worse, and we're just going to keep heading in that same direction. Nothing will change, and that's just the only thing, you know, which is just really bad. And obviously, like, you know, our lives are, as well, because we're young people, our lives will change dramatically, and we're the ones who are going to have to pay for everything that's happened before, in the past, and even present. You know, if we don't change, then our lives are going to change, and we won't. And we all thinking, oh yeah, we want to do this remote, we want to do that. But you can see that places in, like, you know, America and Italy, you know, the sea levels are rising, and it's just going to stop people from, you know, visiting places like these islands. Like, they'll be gone soon, that people want to be visiting. And it's something that, you know, if you want something to change, we're going to all have to do something, and that's a massive thing. So that's my prediction for the future. Obviously, yeah, that may not happen, and we may do something soon, but we need to do something soon, and we have to, because otherwise it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So yeah, and just before I do end that one, so yeah, thank you for those questions though, they were really, really helpful. But another thing is, stepping back to the question of, you know, like, what can we do at home? For me, in a personal view, I've done a lot, obviously with the channel I've done a lot, but places like, you know, you can go to places and shops, so just say about like shower gels and things like that, you can buy soap bars and things like that to help, you know, you kind of reduce the plastic that you're using. So I know they are in plastic tubes, but small things like these. So this one is for your teeth, so it acts like a toothbrush, but they're kind of like, you chew them and then you put water on your toothbrush, and then obviously you brush your teeth like normal. And then these like mouthwash, and they kind of, you know, you just chew it and then you just kind of act it, you know, it's normal mouthwash, and you put water in your mouth, and you know, it's the same action. But the good thing about these though is that obviously they're from Lush, and you can take them back and they'll reuse them, which is massive because everything's getting reused and things like that. And I know they are in plastic bottles, as I said, but these things are getting used a lot more, and they even, you know, things down to like they're vegan and they're fighting for animal like testing and small things like that. You know, it gives a better complexion for the future and things like that. And so, you know, that's something that I'm doing, and I do a lot more things with that. So I got like, you know, bamboo toothbrushes and things like that. Obviously that's one thing that you can do, but there's so much more things you can do. And you know, even if you're stuck and you're thinking, oh, what can I do, like go onto Google, go onto any, you know, any search engine and type in what can I do, and you can find so much stuff about it that you can do. And it's a massive thing for you to kind of improve, you know, either future, and fingers crossed we can help, you know, our generation and future generations, because, you know, species are extincting and things like that. And you know, if you want your children to grow up to live great lives and to experience the things that we can experience, so like animals, you know, beautiful species and everything, you know, we're gonna have to do something, because, you know, little things like that are going to disappear if we don't do anything to change. And that's a massive thing, you know, that gets overlooked. So yeah, that's kind of like the Q&A done. You know, I hope I've kind of answered your questions to the best of my capabilities, and you know, I'll probably do one of these again in the future, but I'm gonna try and do more things. And if there's, you know, if anyone has any kind of like examples of what I could do for videos, then just, you know, drop in a message or something through Instagram, or you know, if I'm not sure the comments are disabled still or not, I'm trying to work with that. But if they, you know, if they aren't, then you just drop a something that you think I can do, or anything to improve on, or anything like that. So I hope I've been able to answer your questions, and I really appreciate you guys sending in the questions. It, you know, means a lot. And yeah, so fingers crossed we'll definitely make a new video soon though. I'll think of an idea, and I'll go in some like lit pics and things like that soon, and keep you guys updated. Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please, you know, if you would consider doing it, please go and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye bye.